Hi Richard, great to see you again.
And you, yeah, always a pleasure.
So we just thought we'd start today by talking about a bit of history really, to try and give people an idea of how you came to be doing what you're doing now.
So I think it all started with a visit to the Alhambra Palace in Spain, in Granada. And at the same time, later in that visit, we happened upon a small artisanal tile factory quite nearby, an hour away, in the Alpujarras in southern Spain. Just a small cooperative making very nice tiles, and they had displays outside. I thought, I'd like to make those. They were using little metal templates and just cutting round them. So that is different to how they make them in Morocco. They generally make square tiles and then go around and chip the shapes out. Yeah, it's amazing to watch them. They're so skilled, the guys who do that.
So was it? Did you like the kind of the craft side of it, or was it the colours or the?
Yeah, it's just the colours, the patterns, the shape. I don't know. Somehow I just kind of connected with it. Really, I've heard someone say there are two kinds of people. There are people who are absolutely fascinated by tiles and people who aren't. So I definitely fell into that that category.
Had you been, interested in it before, or was that oh wow, I've not seen this before?
Yeah, I think that was probably the first time that I'd really been aware of it anyway. Maybe I had seen it before, but when I was at uni, I studied maths. Yeah, I think with maths there comes a bit of an appreciation of patterns and symmetry. I don't know what it is. And I think that comes through with the tiles as well.
It's like the repeated patterns and the tessellations, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So how did you come from being there near the Alhambra and being inspired by tiles? That was just something you liked looking at. But when did you think about, well, actually now I'd like to learn how to do it?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what made me start making them. But I did buy a small kiln, which enabled me to do a few experiments. This was 15 years ago. So we went back to the same town where the tile factory was on holiday. So unfortunately, the original place that we'd seen 20 years ago had closed down. But there was a lady there who was making similar kind of tiles on a smaller scale, just by herself.
Right.
And had a chat to her, and then went away. And then I thought, hang on, she's got all those lovely glazes. I'll email her. So a few months after we got back from the holiday, or weeks, I emailed her and said, you wouldn't mind telling me what your recipe is, would you? And she did. She told me.
Oh, wow.
It's great. And she gave me the recipe for a blue glaze, a lovely mid-blue glaze. And I still have that recipe. I still make that recipe. And I call it Delia Blue, after Delia, who gave me the recipe. Bless you, Delia.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'm interested in is the shapes you do now. So are you using the Moroccan method of chipping away, or are these done moulded?
No, they're all moulded in different ways, actually.
Didn't you tell me earlier as well that you also tried working with 3D printing?
Ah, yes, I did. I made a 3D printer for extruding clay.
That's just an amazing idea. That is just an amazing idea.
Well, yeah, it is, and it does work to a certain extent. The trouble is, it is very fiddly. The electronics decides, no, I'm not doing that today.
Computer says no.
Computer says no, yeah, and that kind of became debugging problems rather than the sort of very physical experience of just sort of smashing down clay and
Yeah, because working with clay is really tactile, isn't it? And like just computing a program to extrude tiles in a certain way just takes the feel away, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you can get some very interesting effects, but it's very slow as well. So the idea of just setting the thing going and leaving it, it's not going to happen. You come back and there's a whole box of tiles ready for you. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
So did you carry on experimenting with different colours?
Yes, I expanded my range of colours, experimenting with different oxides and stains. Some colours are very difficult to make with chemicals that are safe. For example, yellow. I think the oxide is possibly antimony or something, which is like super toxic. So stay away from all that.
I mean, I can see that you're tiling behind you on your own kitchen. Well, I think it's great when you experiment on your own kitchen, because we did the same. So I guess it's the same. They're going to be heat safe, are they?
Yes, yeah. They're fine for indoor use. I've just started here. I've done the all-important bottom row.
That's quite a complicated tessellation. So is that just two shapes will complete it, or will you need to do more for the bits in between?
No, so for the fish scales, I have this shape which I have invented, which goes like that.
Ingenious. That's the mathematician in you, isn't it?
Possibly.
People, let's not be bashful about this, Richard. People are getting really unique designs, aren't they?
I believe so. Yeah, in this case. So these thin borders here, as well as glazing the front here, I've also glazed the side edge there, so that the whole thing is glazed all around the corner.
So talk to me about the design on this border itself, because it's quite complicated.
That is a traditional Moroccan design, I think.
So is each part of those a separate tile?
So we've got these pieces here, and these little pieces here, and then some red squares, and they all fit together to make this lovely flowing border.
Here we are again a week later. My gosh, what a difference. It looks absolutely stunning.
Do you like it?
I absolutely love it.
Right.
It looks fantastic.
Right. Oh, thank you.
Well, here we are in your studio, Richard. It looks like we've come at a very opportune time. This is very exciting. Tell me about it.
Yes, I'm just about to open the kiln with some tiles for the side walls in my kitchen at home. Oh yeah, come out very well. So this is a traditional Moroccan Islamic design. There'll be stars in the centre surrounded by these turquoise kites, and then with a field of the diamonds, which are the same colour as the tiles that I've got in my kitchen, that I'm putting in the kitchen.
Wow, looking forward to seeing that. So now we're going to see a bit of action, aren't we?
That's right. So this is a piece of clay. I've just tapered the nose of it off a little bit. So a bit of Teflon over the top. And here we go. Nice.
Brute force.
Nice sheet of clay. So that is now rolled out to the right thickness.
Okay. So how thick is that now?
That's about 11 millimetres. So it will give me a finished tile that's about 10 millimetres thick, a centimetre thick.
Is it because it shrinks in the kiln?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yes. So, here we go. So one of the ways that I make tiles, I do make them in several different ways, but one of the ways is just simply cutting around templates like this, which I've made. So just put that on there with a needle, cut around it.
Oh, this really is handmade, isn't it? Every single tile
It
is
certainly
hand cut.
is, yes. It's
Wow.
quite time consuming, this. But there we go, there's a nice star, which I then put on pieces of plasterboard to dry. This is where I dry the tiles. After I've put them on pieces of plasterboard, I leave them in there for a week or so to dry.
And it looks like I've stumbled on an Aladdin's cave of different tile shapes. Tell me a little bit more about them.
Yeah, well, these are all tiles that I've bisque fired, so they're ready to be glazed. These are some diamonds. Got some nice little rhombuses there. So we're all trying to be a little bit more green now, and I've been experimenting recently with single firing. So I cut the shapes out of the clay, glaze them, and then just do a single firing, which obviously is quicker as well as being more efficient in kiln time.
So we talked earlier about different shapes and different designs, and you have some examples here to show us.
Yeah, so these are some boards that I did when I first started out. I put them on my market stall. I've had them in a little shop. These just give people an idea of the kinds of things that I can do. So when I've got a customer who is looking for a certain design, what I'll do is talk with them about what they're looking for, the colours, and then I'll make a sample board like this for them to take away.
So this is a really important part of your bespoke service, isn't it? Because they can take it home, they can look at it in situ, make sure the colour matches their pattern and be very happy with it before they order the rest of the design.
Yes, that's right. It takes possibly a little bit longer, but they're sure then that they're getting the right thing that they want.
That's fabulous.
So one commission that I had was for a lady in a lovely house. She wanted something modern and different. So what I made for her was a yellow chevron shaped tile. That's not a Moroccan style. It's something completely new that I've come up with, I guess. So most of the stuff I do is indoors. But I do occasionally do bits of outdoor stuff, and this is an example here of some tiles that I made originally for a fireplace.
That's amazing.
So
I mean, I love the colour of that as well. The sort of like the different shades, was that when straight from the kiln, or is that weathering as well?
no, that's straight from the kiln.
And this water font, is this another outdoor one, Richard?
It's not frost-proof, so I cover it up in the winter. But yeah, it does stay outside. So this is a traditional Moroccan design, or a series of traditional Moroccan designs. Everyone says it looks really complicated, but it's not.
It does.
It's not complicated at all. It's a few simple shapes just repeated over and over again.